Hi again. You know, I've actually been thinking a whole lot lately, mainly ever since last night, when I was giving you my first video, whatever you want to call it, therapy session, monologuing, either way. But anyways, ever since then I've been thinking a lot, and I just couldn't think of anything to say. But you know, that's actually the best part. You see, sometimes when you don't know what to say, if you just start talking about anything, whether it's to yourself or to other people, you actually might turn up with something pretty great. Maybe something you want to use in the future. Because you know, I can only make up so many white lies. But, let's see. I mean, like I said, I don't have much to say today. No matter how hard I tried thinking, I just couldn't think of anything, so I'm just gonna wing at it. Well, I'm surprised I haven't had the Batman to come and visit me. It's kind of rude, actually. But you see, he and I, we understand each other. Because he is that close to being me. And I'll tell you why. Because Batman and I, we are so much more alike than what people think. You see, some people think that me and him are separated because I have no rules and he only has that one rule. Right? Well, I don't really count that. A man has his own way of doing things, so I have to give him credit. But the real thing that keeps he and I different from each other, this is the one and only thing, the one real thing that keeps him different from me. And no, it's not the clown makeup either. It's because the Batman pretends that he is living in a world that makes sense. You see, I was once like him, and I'll tell you that story in just a second. I used to believe, or I should say, pretend the world made sense. I had an ungrateful boss, and it's because of my last life that I ended up like this. But I have to be thankful for it. I mean, look at how I am today. Sure, you see me locked up, but who cares? Because like I said last time, you can't keep a good joke down, now can you? So, anyways, about the Batman pretending that the world makes sense. I guarantee you, just like I did, one day, the Batman's going to realize that the world doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It's totally screwed up. It doesn't organize its own being. They say they're well organized. Well, they're not. They're not. So one of these days, Batman is going to snap. And when that day comes, he's going to look at all of this and what he's been doing. He's going to ask himself two questions. One, why? Why would I waste my whole life for these people? What was I trying to gain? And two, he's going to ask himself the same question that I asked, or actually, he's going to ask himself the same question that my father asked me. Why so serious? And that day will come. You'll see. Now, as I said before about that story I was going to tell you, it's about how I really got my scars. Well, see, I was once a cop. I was one of the best at the time. Not the best, but I would say one of the best. And I started tracking down really bad people. The city started becoming a very safe place. And so, eventually there came to a point where I did too much good. And the police commissioner that was working there at that time, he was being paid off by the mob. So, the commissioner sent a warrant out for my arrest. Me, the one who was helping this city. They must have paid him a load of cash. It's amazing how that one tiny little piece, a few pieces of paper can persuade a man. I don't see what the big deal is about it. It's just a piece of paper. I can go at home and make it more. It's always extra. So anyway, once they catch me and they arrest me, I get the charges. I'm supposed to stay in prison for X amount of years. So then there came lunchtime. I got my lunch, I sat down at my table, and I noticed, not too far down to the left if I'm remembering correctly, there was some man that I very well recognize. And you're gonna know why when I'm finished telling this story. I looked away from the man. I continued eating my lunch. I looked back. He's still staring at me with the same angry look. And this time I see him get up. He comes walking towards me. I'm thinking maybe he's just leaving, so I go back to doing whatever it is I was doing. And next thing I know, I see him walking directly at me. He grabs me by my throat, carries me off the table, and slams me down onto the floor. And then he attacks me. He breaks my arm, dislocates my ribs, and breaks my leg. And now I'm basically on the urge of complete paralysis. And then, I don't know where he managed to find the time to have one, but out of his pocket he held a pocket knife. He took out the blade, he grabbed my cheek, pressed the blade against it, and as he was doing this, he was laughing insanely, saying, "Why so serious? Why so serious?" And then, there goes my cheek. Grabs my other cheek, presses the blade against that. "Let's put a smile on that face!" And begins laughing like a complete maniac. I don't think I will ever forget the sound of that laughter. That horrifying laugh. "Let's put a smile on that face." And then, "Why so serious?"